Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready to begin our Oswego race weekend, and we kick things off with chase race number 2 of the debut season of the NCAA TaxSlayer Truck Series. When the checkered flag waves here tonight, we will have whittled down the field of 8 to the field of 6. And then we will begin our second round of the chase in order to determine our final 4 at our season finale. But here tonight, it's our cutoff race, the first cutoff race for the TaxSlayer Truck Series drivers. 8 drivers come into this race with a chance of being able to move into the top 6, but 2 of them will be eliminated. Their championship season will come to an early end. Now, coming into this race, there are 3 drivers in particular that really have very little to, if no, pressure of moving on to the next round. One of those drivers has absolutely zero pressure of what happens tonight. That's, of course, Nick Johnson, who took the checkered flag in our first chase race at Chicagoland. That automatically locked him into the round of 6. 2 other drivers come into this race pretty high up in the point standings and pretty far ahead of the cut line as well. Joshua Hyatt, second in the point standings. He currently finds himself a total of 39 points ahead of the cut line, and Charles Jackson is a total of 34 points ahead of the cut line. So the likelihood that the drivers behind them would accumulate enough stage points to knock either one of them down to slots 7 and 8 by the time the checker flag waves tonight, slim to none. So it looks like we may end up having at least 3 drivers come into this race that will move on to the next round. But then it gets really interesting from 4th in the points on down. Jonathan Zoerlein is 4th in the standings. He is a mere 7 points ahead of the cut line. Then you've got 5th in the points Carter Friesen. He's only 3 points ahead of the cut line. M Saatchi is in the critical 6th position in points. He's only 2 points ahead of the cut line. And right now, the 2 drivers on the outside of the cut line looking in. You've got A Garcia. He's only 2 points out of moving into the top 6. And T Deaver is only 12 points out of moving into the top 6. And as you can see tonight, he's going to be our highest starting playoff driver in the 5th position at a track where more than likely track position is going to be a key factor. So will we see T Deaver be able to pull something off here tonight and move into the top 6? We're going to have to wait and see. And of course, if any of our playoff drivers go to victory lane tonight, that's an automatic lock-in to the next round of 6. Plus, they would end up getting some pretty valuable playoff points towards the next round of the playoffs as well. We're about ready to go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, so let's go and do that right now.
Drivers, start your engines!
45 laps of racing here this evening, so our stage is obviously split it into 3. It's going to be 15, 15, and 15. And it is actually our final dirt track stop of the season for all 3 series, actually, as we'll have Pizza Next Series and Hershey's Cup Series action here this weekend as well under the lights. Ricky Cervantes and Zach Rogers, a couple of these drivers that have been runner-up finishers a couple of times this season. They'd love to be able to close the deal and get the wins here tonight. You got Jessica Miles and Mason Wood lined up there in row 2, and then as mentioned, T Deaver, the highest starting playoff driver, in the 5th position on the inside of row 3. Time to get racing here. Who's going to make it into the next round of the chase for the championship? We're going to find out. Green flag's underway at Oswego. Let's roll. Cervantes with the early advantage, but here comes Jessica Miles to the bottom. 3 wide up the middle comes T Deaver, and Joshua Hyatt will now go to the inside as it's 3 wide for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, they were 5 wide back there for a moment, mid-pack. There was a truck that came to pit road, I think. That's P Minnick in the 54. We're still green, and I think that was the 5 wide situation. They were 4 wide trying to get around him, as here comes Joshua Hyatt in the 83. He's going to move to 2nd place. Joshua Hyatt, one of those 3 drivers that kind of seems to come into this race in a bit of a safe zone of being able to make it into the round of 6, so he's just out there trying to win this thing. T Deaver to the inside, going to try and take the 2nd position. T Deaver, the best thing he can do tonight, get himself up inside of the top 3, maybe in the race lead when we get to the completion of these stages, because those stage points could be his ticket into the top 6. P Minnick still sits on pit road. Going to drop back here so we find some more of our playoff drivers. There's Jonathan Zoerlein in the 88. Not too far back, M Saatchi in the 74. Zoerlein coming to this race only 7 points ahead of the cut line. Saatchi only 2 points ahead of the cut line. The driver they want to try and stay ahead of is back here, the orange truck of A Garcia. He's the driver with a lot of pressure on him tonight of trying to make it into the top 6. Of course, A Garcia was one of the most consistent drivers during the regular season, but now in danger of maybe having a very early exit here in the playoffs. Charles Jackson side by side with Nick Johnson. Both these drivers seem to be rather a shoe-in to make it into the playoffs. Of course, Nick Johnson with his win at Chicagoland last time out, and Charles Jackson, a two-time winner, coming into this race with a pretty good gap between himself and that 6th in the standings cut line. Trying to fight his way up to the front are both of these drivers. As up towards the front, we've got a battle on for the lead. Tyler Deaver was out in front, but not for long. Here comes Dylan Theroux for the top position. And I don't know if the 54 of Paul Minnick has returned to the track or not. He's scored 3 laps down. Oh, trouble in the back here. Eli Bright spins around, and he got collected by Stuart Gratton. That's going to bring out the caution. Yellow flag will wave for the first time tonight, and it takes place on lap number 8. As the 7 of Eli Bright spins around, he collected the 31. I'm trying to look and see if Minnick's back on track. Yes, he is. 54 is back on track, so he's 3 laps down. Don't know why they had to come to pit road, but whatever it was, it obviously was unscheduled. And there you see the 7 and the 31. 31's got the most damage. He's the one that hit the spinning 7 car of Bright. And it doesn't look like the leaders are going to come to pit road. I think they can make it this entire race on fuel, so I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. And we're getting close to being able to complete our first stage. And we've got a couple of our playoff drivers up inside the top 10 here, drivers that really needed to be up there. Tyler Deaver 3rd, Marcus Saatchi in 4th, and Jonathan Zoerlein in 7th. And you got Joshua Hyatt, of course, up here in 2nd place, all behind the 17 of Dylan Theroux. Let's take a look at a replay, what brought out our first caution of the evening. Well, I was looking back through the field trying to find out where Paul Minnick was if he'd returned to the track. I think Eli Bright could give us a general idea of where he was, because as the 54 came back out on track, Eli Bright was down the inside line, and the 54 was not up to speed. Bright runs into the back of him, sends him around right in front of Davey Johnson. And he's going to get a hit right there from Ryan Madden in the 99. And there's Stuart Gratton nowhere to go as well. In the 31 truck, not only hits the 7, but goes up and hits that outside wall pretty hard too. That outside wall is very unforgiving. There's no safer barriers here, and you get up and into that dirty, well, not dirty, but less gripped up groove there on the top side. You're going to go up and you're going to hit that wall, and that wall, it can cause an awful lot of damage. You can clearly see on the front of the 31 car, the 31 truck. So that's what put us under the caution. Incident pretty close to the rear of the field, so fortunately no more drivers were involved other than the 7, 99, and 31. And we will get ready now to go back green here at Oswego. Lights are out atop the pace truck, so we will go back green. One driver out of the race is going to be Stuart Gratton, so he will not complete this race here tonight. 4 laps down is Paul Minnick, and the rest of the field is on the lead lap. So 40 of our 42 original cars are still on the lead lap. 41 of them still running. Dylan Theroux gets ready to get us back under green with Joshua Hyatt, Tyler Deaver, Marcus Saatchi, a couple of playoff drivers back there, 2nd and 4th. Green flag back in the air. Got a truck that's coming out on the track just ahead. That's the 99 of Ryan Madden. We saw him get involved in that wreck that brought out the caution. Side by side between a couple playoff drivers for 2nd place as we're getting close to the close of our first stage of this event. Marcus Saatchi going to make the pass down low on Tyler Deaver and now sets his sights on maybe being able to catch Dylan Theroux, but he's got about 1.5 laps to do it before we get to the completion of this stage. And Ryan Madden, damaged race car, going to pull down to pit road once again. So tough break there for the 99 as we are now on the white flag lap of this stage, and Marcus Saatchi is closing the gap. Tyler Deaver way up the track there as he was battling side by side with Joshua Hyatt. Saatchi, how hard is he going to drive it here into this corner on the Red Horse Toyota Tundra? Not enough to get the top spot. Dylan Theroux will win stage number 1 here tonight. at Oswego. Saatchi's going to get stage points, though, in second. Tyler Deaver hung on for third. Joshua Hyatt fourth. Jonathan Zoerlein in fifth. So playoff drivers in second through fifth at the completion of our first stage. And those were huge stage points for Zoerlein, Saatchi, and Deaver. Now the two drivers that might have to be a little bit worried that they didn't get some stage points would be the 51 of A Garcia and the 29 of Carter Friesen, as we got a car smoking up ahead here, and I think we might be under caution. No, we are... Oh, trouble! Careful! I think we're still green, and we just had a wreck there with the Rowe, Hyatt, and Deaver. We are still green. That just turned the race lead over to Jonathan Zoerlein. They were all trying to get around the 33 of Marty Czekala, who appeared to have blown up, and we nearly had a wreck, and Czekala's still sitting there on the track. Why are they not throwing the yellow for that? I don't know. We're still green. And now Czekala's car is finally teleported to pit road, but wow. Ryan Madden returning back to the racetrack, but that just dropped the 83, the 17, and the 30 way, way back, and now the caution is out. Caution's out for the second time here tonight. And I'm actually quite shocked we didn't have a caution before when the 33 of Czekala was sitting there on the racetrack. But Zoerlein now out in front, and that certainly changed up the running order. That dropped the 83, here's the 83 and the 17. They are back now in 11th, 12th. Where is Deaver? There's Deaver way back here. Deaver crossed the line in 21st, I think. No, 23rd. That really cost those three drivers. So the caution is out for the second time tonight. Not rightly sure what it was for. I don't know if it had to do with the 33 of Czekala or not. We'll find out as Jonathan Zoerlein paces us under yellow, almost to the halfway point of this race. Caution came out for the 99 of Ryan Madden, who'd been off on pit road, just trying to have that car out of the way of the lead traffic. Well, when he merges out here on track, he's going to merge in front of lead traffic, almost the same thing that happened with Paul Minnick merging up in front of Eli Bright. And I believe the car that's going to get him is the 25 of Jessica Miles right here. She's trying to get up high enough to avoid him, but tags him in the right rear quarter panel. And as the 99 goes sideways, he's going to slide down here, fortunately just down towards the apron portion of the racetrack. And look at the 83. Big miss for Joshua Hyatt. Nick Johnson's going to get low enough to avoid. Paul Minnick got a piece of him, though. So one lap car hits another lap car there. And then it turned the 99 the correct direction. He kept going. A little contact there with Jake Rogers, but that's what brought out the caution for the second time here tonight. And we have two more drivers now out of the race. Marty Czekala has taken his car behind the wall. That car blew up, and so they weren't able to continue. And Ryan Madden has finally taken his wounded machine back to the garage area as well. Paul Minnick 4 laps down, still lines up on the inside line. Jonathan Zoerlein gets ready to get us back underway. Marcus Saatchi right behind him. And then you've also got Charles Jackson, another playoff driver, up in the top 10 in 6th place. Green flag back in the air. And right now, if I were to wager a guess on who would be the two drivers currently in the elimination spots based off of live points, I would think it would probably be the 51 of Ace Garcia and the 29 of Carter Friesen. That's just based off of what I've seen so far here tonight and who's been able to get stage points and who hasn't. Jonathan Zoerlein looking for his second win of the season, his first win coming very early on this year at Las Vegas. Marcus Saatchi trying to run him down. Both these drivers realize that a win automatically locks them into the round of 6, also gives them some very valuable playoff points into the next round of the championship hunt. And they might want to look in their rearview mirror because not too far back is the 4 of Charles Jackson, two-time winner this season. And now fighting his way by Paul Minnick, now in a battle for the 5th position with Julius Anderson. Just ahead of him, J Lagasee to the inside of Michael Whitman. That's the battle for 3rd place. As these two continue to battle with each other, that's going to have them lose a little bit of ground to the top 2, but the top 2 might be involved in their own battle in just a moment here. Jackson now closes in on Lagasee. That's for 4th place, but Saatchi running about a half group lower than Zoerlein. Appears to be getting a little bit of the distance between himself and the 88 closed up every now and then. Just can't quite get low enough to make the move. Now he's going to try it. Can he get to the left rear? Yes, he can. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Zoerlein, Saatchi. Saatchi will have the preferred line here down into 3. Can he complete the pass is the question. And he is clear. New leader, 74. And this is coming to the completion of our second stage. He just crossed the line for lap 30. Next time by is the end of the stage, and Marcus Saatchi would love to get 10 valuable stage points. And that's exactly what he'll do as he crosses the line. Marcus Saatchi will win stage 2. Jonathan Zoerlein will get 9 bonus points there with 2nd, and Charles Jackson's the only other playoff driver. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. He is one of 4 playoff drivers that got stage points, as Nick Johnson also was up inside the top 10 and 8. There he is, Nick Johnson coming in this race completely worry-free, knowing he's going to make it into the next round of the playoffs, so why not try and go for another victory if you're Nick? And right now trying to catch the 19 of Isaac Nicholls, but what about Nicholls' teammate Carter Friesen? That's one name we have not mentioned hardly at all tonight because he's not been up near the front. And there he is, he and A Garcia back here. The both of them last time by were scored in 20th and 21st. That's not going to cut it. They got to get themselves further up towards the front here in the closing stages because a number of other drivers around them in the points like Zoerlein, Saatchi, Jackson, and Deaver have all managed to get some stage points here tonight. As a matter of fact, let's see where Deaver's currently at. 30 truck. Oh wow, he's dropped way back. After getting involved in that little scuffle when they were trying to get around the car of M Czekala. There is Deaver. Oh my goodness, he's a long ways back. Last time by, he was scored in 37th, so I think we are very well looking at the first driver to be eliminated from the playoffs this season. R Cervantes, who started on the pole all the way back here as well, and he's actually about to get lapped because Marcus Saatchi and Jonathan Zoerlein are on the same straightaway as his Nissan Titan. At the line this time, it's going to be 10 laps to go. And we could see slower traffic come into play in this race. This track is only about 6.625 miles. So it doesn't take long for them to catch slower traffic, and it looks like Cervantes is going to give Saatchi the outside line to pass him. I think Saatchi would have rather have the inside line, but he will complete the pass nonetheless. Now let's see how long it takes for Jonathan Zoerlein to get around the 58. And Zoerlein, it sounded like he had to get out of the throttle a little bit there to be able to get to the inside there in turn 2, coming out of turn 2. He will now complete the pass. Speaking of completing the pass, Charles Jackson has gotten around J Lagasee, so there's no doubt in my mind with where he's running right now. Charles Jackson will be moving on to the round of 6. Joshua Hyatt is just outside the top 10. Last time by, scored in the 12th position, so I believe he will make it into the round of 6 very easily. And of course, we already know Nick Johnson's locked in, and I would say right now it's looking like the other 3 drivers that they would contend with would be Saatchi, Zoerlein, and, well, I think it would come down between Carter Friesen and A Garcia for that final spot, to be honest. And neither one of those two, Friesen nor Garcia, have gotten stage points tonight. The gap between the 2 of them was 3 points in the standings. So if Garcia can finish 4 positions ahead of Friesen, he's in. If Friesen is able to be within 3 positions of Garcia or finish ahead of him, then he's in. So that's the battle for the final playoff position into the round of 6. So let's drop back to that because I think both of them are in the same vicinity as each other. And right now, Friesen is ahead of Garcia. So right now, Friesen is in control of the final transfer spot into the round of 6. Garcia is 3 positions back. He needs to gain those 3 plus gain 3 more of the 29 in the next 4 laps. And time is very quickly running out, and so is the fact that he may not even get a chance to be able to challenge Carter Friesen because the caution is out. And that could very well have just ended this race under yellow. And if it did, that right there, I think, just locked up our top 6 drivers that will move on to the next round of the playoffs. I don't know what brought out the caution. Didn't see anything as I was cycling through the field, but NNSCRA officials apparently did. So let's quickly jump back and take a look at the replay of what happened, and then come back for what I believe is going to be the finish under yellow. Drivers trying to get around lap traffic. Tyler Deaver there in the 30, holding up Charles Jackson, who also had Seth Cole to his inside. Jackson's going to get into the left rear quarter panel of Tyler Deaver, but Deaver was able to save it. But since his truck was actually sideways, NNSCRA officials throwing the caution just in case. And unfortunately, that's going to end this race under the yellow flag. So let's go back, as I believe the white flag has already been displayed for M Saatchi. Well, what a year it has been so far for Flickinger Racing Development. Both their drivers, Nick Johnson and M Saatchi, going to victory lane, both making the playoffs, and now both of them starting off the playoffs with trips to victory lane, with Johnson winning last week at Chicagoland and Saatchi winning here tonight at Oswego. He'll come out at turn number 4. The flagman will wave the checkered flag, his second win of the season. M Saatchi will win here tonight at Oswego, and I think we can safely say the drivers that will be moving on to the round of 6 will be Nick Johnson, M Saatchi, Joshua Hyatt, Charles Jackson, Jonathan Zoerlein, and Carter Friesen brings it home in the 20th position, 3 positions ahead of Ace Garcia, and Deaver will be the first 2 eliminated from the playoffs this season. Playoff drivers finished 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 8th in tonight's event. Great race, a lot of green flag racing there, some great battling for the race lead. Would have liked to see how that would have shaped up in the closing stages, but nonetheless, regardless of who went to victory lane between Zoerlein or Saatchi, they both would have moved on to the round of 6 regardless. The only difference is Saatchi's going to get some very valuable playoff points heading into the next round, the round of 6. J Lagasee will bring it home in 3rd. A great run for him. How about Julius Anderson rather, there in 4th. Charles Jackson was 5th. Michael Whitman, Seth Cole, 6th and 7th. Nick Johnson will finish in 8th, following up his win at Chicagoland. And completing your top 10 were Darren Davidson, great run for him, and Joseph Srigley. Joshua Hyatt brought it home in 12th. We mentioned Carter Friesen in 20th. That was enough to get him into the final playoff position. Ace Garcia finished 23rd, so his playoffs will come to an end. And you look on down through the remainder of the finisher results. You've got, of course, Tyler Deaver finishing off the lead lap, and that takes him as well out of the playoff picture. We had 3 drivers finish out of the race. Ryan Madden, Marty Czekala, and Stuart Gratton worked 3 cautions during the course of this race, but boy, this is certainly looking like it's going to be a good racetrack for another elimination race, and that's exactly what we're going to have tomorrow night for the Pizza Hut X Series race. Plus, the Hershey's Cup Series drivers begin their first race of the round of 12. So hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race from Oswego. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We've shown your full figure results. These are your overall point standings heading into our next race, as well as the reformatted playoff points for the round of 6. The next time you will see these TaxSlayer Truck Series drivers will be in 2 weeks, as we'll be going super speedway racing at Riki Raceway, beginning our quest to find out who will be the final 4 to battle it out at the finale. Again, you will see the elimination race for the Pizza Hut X Series first round here up next this weekend, and then the Hershey's Cup Series action begins their round of 12 here. We will see you guys next time, as you've been watching Production NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.